Happy
It
St.
is.
Patrick's Day. Should you like green? I wore my green shirt for you guys. This is as festive as I get, just so you know. Resistance band for the legs. It has been a hot minute since we did outer glutes. So that's my plan for you guys today. So we're going to start by bringing our feet through our resistance band. If you have one of those fun long ones, honestly, just like tie it up, make it really tight. The tighter you go, the more integrity you're going to build in the hip, which is really what I want, is like really small movement, but maximal effort. So if you're doing maximal range, you're probably doing very little effort on the resistance band. So kind of gear yourself a little bit more to the left of that equation. You're gonna take your bum really close. And like always, let's start to make our way down onto our backs. Rolling slow, 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 slow. This is always a nice moment for me too, where I'm like, okay, like where is my back today? What's happening? Am I tight? Am I stiff? And the answer to that question is yes, my low back is very stiff. Okay, you are going to start with your feet together. Hips are relaxed, arms are down by your side. You're just gonna palms down, shoulders broad. We've been talking a lot about the rib cage, both in person and not in person. So what I'd like you to do here is take the ribs and draw them downwards. So this front aspect of your diaphragm actually has an opportunity to plunge downward on the inhale and casually move back up on the exhale. So if you're kind of arched through your back and your ribs are exposed, your inhale is going to be really stretched. The diaphragm isn't going to be able to contract very well because it is already in a stretched position. So yeah, just like kind of keep all those minor details in mind. And then think of where your hip bones are. Keep those ribs still and arch the hips forward and tuck. I promise you, this is a small movement. A lot of what we take in terms of movement through the spine is actually like upper thoracic versus lower lumbar. And again, like going back to that principle that we just kind of talked about, is maximal effort is sometimes the smallest range. The next time that you tuck, stay scooped, drop those ribs, arms are down, shoulders are broad. We're going to inhale here. On your exhale, start to separate the knees so that you are putting resistance on your band. And then close that resistance band. And we're going to open. My resistance band is so thick. I think it's about 70 pounds. It's a medium one, but it's quite the friend. Sometimes when I'm doing squats, I actually think it's a foe, but nevertheless, we're going to open and close. Exhale on your opening and release. Open, release. This time as you open, we're going to make two little pulses out to the side. So we're going to control it. It's going to go out, out, squeeze in. Beautiful. We're going to go out, out, and squeeze in. Open, open, in. Open, open, in. 3, 3, together. 2, 2, together. One more. Open, open, squeeze. We're going to hold open here. Tuck through the tailbone, and we're going to elevate your hips here. Maybe just a little bit higher than a fist distance. Keep those hips tucked. When your hips come up, we're gonna make 2 pulses out. So we're gonna go open, open. Keep it open though. We wanna maximally fatigue here. And come on down, hips touch. And then we lift up again, smooth and steady. And we go open, open, hold, and lower down. Keep your hips tucked. Squeeze your glutes, come up. Open, open, touch. We're gonna lift, open, open, and down. We have just a few more to go. Lift, pulse, pulse, down. Lift, squeeze your glutes, pulse, pulse, down. We're almost there again. We're gonna go lift, open, open, hold. I know you're probably very fatigued at this point. We're gonna reset the hips. So we're gonna scoop under. Feel that this bottom kind of like glute to hamstring area is contracting. And then we're gonna make 8 little pulses here. We go 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Together and roll yourself down. Oof, that was mighty. Separate your feet now and create some of that resistance on the band. So having your feet apart is a little bit more challenging than feet together, because when your feet are together, your knees can be together and you don't need to have the resistance on the band. However, having that open is just a little bit more challenging. We're going to go through all of that same sequence again. So we're going to open back into knees in line with hips. This is what I'm going to consider our new neutral. So we're going to go open, together, open, together. 8, 7, 6. I love that we were only 5 minutes into class and my hips are already burning. 5, 4, 3, 2, hold, little pulses, open, open, release, pulse, pulse, release, open, open, release, open, open, release, 5, 5, 4, 4, 3, 3, 2, 2. Last one, open, 8 pulses, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and done. You can let your knees and your feet come back together. If you need to move from side to side, I'm gonna pump that blood flow out of gluteus medius maximus and piriformis. Okay, let's go back into feet moderately apart, so heels in line with hips. The knees push open so you have that starting resistance. Take your hands behind your head. If you need to go across your chest, absolutely do that if the shoulder is feeling just a little bit more funky. Breathing here. On the exhalation, we're going to curl up, create that abdominal compression. 2 little pulses from the leg. Pulse, pulse, and release. Hold that tension. Exhale, curl. Pulse, pulse, release. Lift, open, open, release. Curl, lift, lift, down. You have 4 more. Lift, open, open, release. Exhale, pulse, pulse, release. We're going to hold up here. Find that resistance. 8 to the legs. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, hold. From the ribs, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and good job. Arms down by your side. Scoop your tailbone, press through the feet, press out through the knees, tuck, and lift up into your bridge. We are going to stay elevated in our bridge today. So you might need to kind of just like retuck and rescoop. I know I lose my lift sometimes very quickly. We're gonna bring your knees together here, and then you're gonna push open. So knees touch and knees open. Touch, squeeze, and open. Touch, squeeze, and open. 5, 4. How are you guys feeling? 3, 2. Last one. Hold together. And in this position, I want you to squeeze the knees together. But also think about kind of like squeezing your glutes. And we're gonna make little pulses with your hips coming up. Keep the knees touching. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now open the knees as wide as you can go within that resistance. Maximal tension here. And now pulse the hips. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And you know what? Come on down. Take your resistance band away momentarily and take your right leg straight. Interlock your hands to your left knee and hug that knee into your chest. We're going to curl up, bringing your nose as close to the left knee as you can, and go ahead and hover the right leg. Hold into that compression. Breathe in here. 2, 3, 4. And we're going to switch right knee in, left leg out, and we're going to hold compression. 2, 3, 4, and curl. 2, 3, 4, and reach. 2, 3, 4. And again, curl. 2, 3, 4, and switch. 2, 3, 4. You have one more. Curl. 2, 3, 4, and switch. 2, 3, 4, and down. Take the legs up to the ceiling and just feel what those hamstrings are doing. Ground down into your pelvis and arms down by your side. If you can keep the legs straight, if you need to bend them, absolutely. And we're going to lower the right leg down. 2, 3, 4, and bring it up. Left, 2, 3, 4, and bring it up. We're going to go slow here. This is about controlling your limbs. If you need to bend your knee, honestly, it's the same thing. You just kind of go on the diagonal down to the ground. But what I need you to focus on here is keeping the ribs down and your hips stable. That this is just the lever that is actually very, very heavy. And to be like, okay, what is it that our core can do? What is it that our legs want to do? Okay, just one more. I know I've been sitting so much lately that my back is definitely feeling different than it normally does. So if you are also someone who sits a lot, those positions are really, really tough on our systems. One more. We're going to end on the left. Awesome. Okay, pull the knees into your chest. Let your knees kind of open wide, such as we would do in yoga. And we're going to come onto our hands and our knees. The first thing that we're going to do involves no resistance band, and then we will be using the resistance. We're going to spread the fingers Hike your shoulders up. You'll notice that you lose a lot of the integrity. And then as you get those shoulder blades backing down, lat picks up, ribs settle, and we untuck our toes. We're going to pull the left knee into your body, circle high and around. I know we've been doing this a lot lately, but honestly, I just love it. I feel like we don't do enough of like the hip circles to lubricate the joint, move the muscles in all of their directions, and then pause and go the other direction. So you're going to press back, circle around and in, back, circle around and in. 3, 2, and 1. Let that knee come down. Then we're going to go right side, right, circle around and in. Absolutely. Come onto your forearms if you feel like you are struggling with the shoulder aspect of this. We can deal with shoulders later. This is not the moment where we need to think like, oh, my shoulders are so fatigued, I can't complete another hip circle. And other direction, press back. Oh, scoop in and around. 4, 3, 2, one more. And come on down. Come and sit onto your bum, resistance band. Scoops back into the legs. So somewhere just like above the knee, just like we did in all of the other positions. Take your hands behind your back to start. Generally what happens is we want to curve the low back. Try to move in the opposite direction. So try to rotate your hips forward. So you're actually in a bit of an anterior pelvic position, meaning that the low back will be straight. And press the knees open. Keep sitting up tall. We're going to make those little pulses here. So we're going to go open, open, together. Ooh. Open, open, together. Open, open, in. Open, open, in. 8, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. We have one more. Open, open, together. Now take the arms forward, press out through the legs and hold that position. Bring the chin into your chest. You're going to keep pressing out through the knees as you curl yourself into a really deep ball. Press out through the knees and then bring yourself up into that seated position. This is actually quite a bit of work for your low back and into the glutes. If you need to take your hands onto the back of the legs, I really recommend that you do so. So you're going to scoop, press out, come on up. So you're just articulating through the pelvis and rise. Okay, let's do that again. We start in that resistance. We're going to curl, curl, curl. Press out even more deeply. Exhale and come forward. Take your hands together and rotate open to the left. Try to keep your palms together so you're actually rotating more through the right than you are through the left. Open through the knees. And we're going to rotate ourselves down. You get to stop when you're like, I feel like I'm going to tip. Press out through the knees. Come on up towards the left. 3 more on this side. So you're going to go rotate, 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 hold, open, and rise. Okay, come on down, hold, open, and come up. Ooh, that one I didn't go very low. Let's do that again. Curl, and we're gonna hold this one. Feet down, knees open. Make those little pulses. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and come up. That was a doozy into the back of my hips. Interlock and twist to the right. So left palm is actually like reaching more than the right. So as you're spinning, the right rib cage is trying to come on back. We separate and we go down, 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 hold, and rise on up. Back, 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 hold. Exhale, rise on up. 3 more here. Exhale. 2. Keep pressing out through the band. As you're coming up, we're gonna roll back here for the 1. Rotate and make little pulses here. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come on up to the right, and then let the legs come out of your band. We've done a lot of kind of closed leg work today. So we'll take our feet now to just the outer edges of the resistance band. You can keep your knees bent. If you feel like you want to be fancy, you can extend your legs straight. But I would like you to kind of like take the squishiness of your bum and move it out of the way. So then what you're feeling like you're sitting on is right on top of what's called your ischial tuberosities. Bring your hands onto your shoulders. We're going to take the rib cage and lift it upwards. Those ribs are still integrating down though, but now we're taking the upper chest, and instead of collapsing, we are looking at lifting and extending. We're going to rotate over to the left. So we're going to go twist, twist, hold. As you're twisting to the left, this right side of your body is trying to anchor you. And then rotate. Open, open, hold, and rotate. This is just like a clinical observation. Maybe there's science behind it. I don't know. But I find that we get stuck like in our vertebra, and we get really comfortable here in this like rounded mid flexed position. I find extension is really difficult for people. But then that also means that rotation is really hard, because it's kind of hard to rotate if you end up here. Like this is like a flex position. So it's really hard to rotate around this, but way easier to rotate when we are lifted or even slightly in extension. So if you find that this movement is really, really, really little, don't worry about it. Know that that is very common, and that's why we're doing this, is to kind of increase some of that range of motion. Okay, bring your hands down behind you and bring your legs closer together. You can use your fingers to support the spine, and we're just gonna flex the feet and work into what's called a staff position or staff pose. Reach the arms forward. We're gonna hinge at the hips, and we're gonna try to reach forward. You might feel that your low back pulls a little bit. You're not gonna go beyond that pull. And then rise on up. Okay, we're gonna go reach, reach, hold, and come back up. A couple more times here. Come forward, forward, stay, and come back. One more time. Forward, forward, hold, and come back up. Turn the palms to face each other. We're going to take the left arm and open the left arm out and then reach the right arm forward. So you're kind of going back into that hinge and then return to center. Open right. Take the left arm, reach it forward a little bit, and then come back to center. We're going to do 2 more on each side. This really is more mobility work than anything else. Classically in Pilates, we would have our legs open because it is way easier to hinge when you are not closed in the front of your pelvis. But I'm not really looking for a really deep hinge today. What I'm kind of thinking about is like, can we rotate? And then can we take this and then can we try to open the rotation even more? And for me, honestly, my answer is no. I have sat in a chair for so many hours this week. I am learning about the respiratory system, which isn't my favorite system. I like breathing mechanics, but I don't really like oxygen transport and vision and auditory learning. So that's kind of cool. Okay, one more. So we're going to open. We're going to go reach, reach, stay. Come on, open and back. And then we're going to open right arm, take left arm, reach, reach, stay, and back to center. Now bend at your knees. This should hopefully feel pretty good now that you have decreased some of the tension in the back of the hamstring. Take your chin into your chest and let's slowly work on that deep, deep, deep movement of the low belly. And we're going to roll the self all the way down onto the back, bringing your knees into your chest. Take your right leg straight to the mat, interlock hands onto left knee, and work into some super big circles. We kind of already did this actively when we were on our all fours. And now we have taken it passively. So you're not really working against gravity here. If you feel like maybe you need a spinal twist, left arm out, left knee crosses over. I love when I do this and my back just like cracks without chiro. I don't see a chiropractor, but I do love when my spine feels like it needs to be adjusted and then it gets adjusted. So right knee in, left leg straight, and we circle in the other direction. Honestly, you might find that one side is just so much more restricted than the other. And we want equal circles here. So we want like enough circles on one side and the other. Oh, I meant to tell you guys before. Um, Everyone gave me like 2, 3, 5 thumbs up for like the fitness aspect of our class, which I actually love that you guys want to do that so much. So if I'm not mistaken, next Friday is actually the last Friday of March. So that means that next week we are going to get our strength on. What I would like you guys to have, I'll send this out in an email, like an actual email, is what do we need? Some sort of weights, 6 or 10 pounds, somewhere around 5. My plan for next week is to do a lot of like asymmetrical stuff. So it's still going to feel very slow and controlled. We're going to work those like more stabilizing muscles. So it's not going to be fast. There's no cardio. There's no jumping. It's really just like, here's a movement. How can we do it? And then we will repeat it a couple of times, unlike Pilates where we just do something once. But it'll probably be more like circuit. So you won't do like row, row, row. I find that boring and also very fatiguing. So yeah, have like small weights that kind of challenge you, but don't make you feel so fatigued. And it's only somewhere around half an hour. So it's not like it's overly challenging. There won't be any core because we do core every other time. Um, and probably a resistance band if you guys have them close to you. Okay, so right knee into your body, left knee into your body. Let's curl up into a very, 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 very deep ball. In fact, what I'd like you to think about doing is even like lifting your rear away from the mat and come on down. Bring your feet down to the mat, arms down by your side. Last movement today. Lift your hips up into the extension piece and exhale down. Roll over and bring yourself up. Okay. Happy Friday, everyone, and happy St. Patrick's Day. If today is your last day of March break, I hope that you enjoy it and all of your kids have not gone cray cray for you guys yet. I will see you guys next Friday for not Pilates, but for our strength class. Okay,